I'm gonna make a video showing my yard drain here for my rain gutters. I'm gonna hook my rain gutters into this yard drain so all the water will drain away from my house like it's supposed to. It's been a couple years since I got the roof done and I'm just barely getting around to the rain gutters, but before I do that I want to put the yard drain in. So let's walk through and I'll show you how I did that. So first of all, you'll see that I'm using PVC. I'm not using corrugated. Now PVC is much more expensive, but I've seen a video on YouTube, Gate City Foundations, I think he's out of South Carolina, and he did a video, the difference between PVC and corrugated, and he totally convinced me. Basically what happens with corrugated is all the little ribs, they fill up with garbage, leaves, debris, crap from your roof, shingle, gutters, shingle, asphalt, all this junk. It just fills up that corrugated and it doesn't wash out because those little ribs inside there, they won't really let it go. I've seen him where he pours water down compared to PVC compared to the corrugated, and it takes forever for the water to get through the corrugated, but with this PVC it just goes through just like a racetrack. So that's why I spent the extra money, and I'm doing PVC. This is my own house. I'm not just slapping something in on a Saturday. And you also notice that I'm doing a separate branch for each downspout, because if you can imagine this 4-inch SDR pipe, I have SDR 35 PVC, SDR 35. It's a little bit cheaper than the Schedule 40. Hopefully it'll still work fine for me, but that's the same stuff that you use for your sewer line. So if you have a toilet and you're flushing a toilet, then you can imagine the amount of water that goes through one 4-inch pipe. That's good for a sewer pipe. Well, now I have all my roof, all the water's coming off my roof. So wherever I have a downspout, I'm going to do a separate branch, okay? Now these right here, these are my little catch basins. I have 6 catch basins, 10 feet apart, all the way down here. Now I guess maybe the catch basins weren't necessary, but what the problem is, over at my neighbor's house, her basement floods. You see that? You can kind of see that window over there. Well, all the water goes down into her basement and it floods her basement because her land was never graded right. So I'm kind of fixing her basement by me putting these catch basins in. And you might be saying, well, with those catch basins 10 feet apart, the water's never going to go in there. It's just going to spill right through that fence and go to the neighbor's house. Well, yes, for now, you're correct. But what I'm going to do is just temporarily, I'm going to bury a 2x6 in the dirt right there or whatever, just for now. That way, when all the water goes up against the fence, it's just going to fall right down into my catch basins. And it's going to go that way. And then when I get some more time, I'm going to rip out this ugly fence. She and I don't like this fence, and it makes my property look horrible. And so I'm going to put up a nice pretty fence, nice straight fence, and I'm going to do a concrete curb down there. So that curb is going to be acting like a dam. Any water that goes to her house, it's going to stop right there, and it's going to go down my catch basins, and it's going to go that way, okay? So I put these catch basins on a string line, and I kind of graded my lot a little bit right here before I got started, because I wanted all those are going to be seen. That's going to be at ground level, just a little bit below, okay? Now, so then when I just finish grade it, I'll just go back and I'll bring the dirt right up to the top of the catch basin. Now the reason that these are so low is because I like to do my gardening here, and I like to rototill here. So I dropped this PVC pipe, I dropped it down far enough where I knew that the rototiller is not going to hit it and break it to pieces every year, okay? So inside these catch basins, what I did is I don't want the mosquitoes to be collecting in here, because there's a part, if you could see, where the pipe, it doesn't quite go all the way down to the bottom of the catch basin. You see that? So the bottom of that catch basin would fill with water, Well, what I did is I drilled holes in there, so if it does fill it with water, it's just going to slowly seep into the earth, and it's just going to be very minimal. It's not going to be enough where it floods my neighbor's basement out. So the reason I didn't do a French drain where the water percolates down into the soil is because what this is going to be, it's going to be more of a rainwater collection system. And clear down there by that tree, I'm not done excavating down there, but clear down there I'm going to make my collection tank, and then I'll make a pipe that comes up like this, kind of on an elbow, and then I'll put my sump pump down there, and whenever I want to take water out to the neighbor's house or out to the feed the cows or whatever, I don't know, I don't have cows, but maybe later, so that's all going to be filled with rainwater. And I'll put a pop-up emitter on there just in case I feel like I don't have to pump that stupid thing out every time it rains. If I get lazy, I'll just let it seep out the pop-up emitter. And I'll make another video and I'll show that later. Now with my trench here, I'm excavated at 1/4 inch is a foot. So what I did is I just went in 6-foot sections and I just put my level down until I saw the 1/4 of a bubble. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here, because maybe some of you don't know this trick. I didn't know it at first, but I'll show you how I did this. I hand excavated all this because I can't get a machine back here and tear my neighbor's yard up. So this is what I'm talking about. You start at one point, okay, and I just put a stake down, started at one point, and then what I do, okay, so this would be truly 100% level. If the bubble is between the lines, like that, is truly 100% level. Don't want truly 100% level. I want my water running that way. So now, once I put my stake in, my first stake, on that side where my boot is, we'll just start it at that side. Then I'll bring my level up till I have 1/4 of a bubble, because that equals 1/4 inch per foot. If you don't believe me, get your level and try it. Do the math and it'll equal 1/4 inch equals a foot, okay? So then on the other end, that end, I drive another stake. And then I just go and smooth out between the stakes with my rake and my shovel, and I get it straight all the way down, okay? And that's how I get the 1/4 inch per foot. Because I want my water to be moving through here so that it'll clean out any dirt or debris that's in here, okay? Now let's go look at these guys right here, my little cactus, my little saguaro cactuses is what I'm calling them. Okay, so I will have later, I'm gonna have a downspout. It'll come right off here. Okay, you can imagine this for the rain gutter. The rain gutter's not up yet, but it will be there. The downspout's going to come here, and it'll go in here, and as all the water will go where it should. And this is a clean out. If I get any stoppage, I could just clean this out right here. Just unscrew this, and I can run my snake down there, or even probably a garden hose would get most of the clogs out. And let me tell you, that's another reason why I did not do corrugated, because I talked to several plumbers and they said, no, you cannot run a snake through corrugated. It's just going to tear it up. So I said, well, okay, I'm going with PVC. So the PVC's in, and these other, so the ones with the catch basins, those are really straight in a string line. The other ones are starting to bend a little bit. I kind of had to do that to get my 45s, because my excavation wasn't 100% perfecto. You see, I mean, it's good enough. I had to do a little bit of modification to fit the pipes in the hole. But I'll show you how I got my 45-degree angle, and maybe this will help you. So like right there, if I wanted to get a 45-degree angle, I come off the corner of the house, a square line, right? Just draw a square line off the corner of the house. and then I just pick a random number. So this was like just whatever was to there to here. It was about 6 feet. So I came off 6 feet. I marked 6 feet. Okay. And then I go this way, square. I go 6 feet here. Okay. And then from the corner to my 6 feet, I draw a line. That's a 45-degree angle. So it doesn't matter if it's 3 feet, 3 feet, 45-degree angle. 2 feet, 2 feet, 45-degree angle. 1 foot, 1 foot, 45-degree angle. I hope that makes sense. And the reason I made this so wide is because I needed some wiggle room, and I needed to be able to get down on my hands and knees down there and glue the fittings together. So if you just rented a trencher and went this deep, you're gonna have probably a harder time gluing stuff in unless you glued it all in on the top and then set it down. But I don't think I would be very successful like that. So that's why I made the wider excavation. Plus I had to get my rake down in here and smooth out the bottom of my trench with my rake. So that's why it's a little bit wider. So anyway, the last thing I have to do is I need to put some tape over those because it's going to be a while before the rain gutters come in, and I don't want my kids throwing rocks down there and stuff. So anyway, this is a huge project I'm doing, a huge undertaking, but if it saves my neighbor's basement, it's worth it because she's a really good neighbor, and it's also giving me experience for how to do these yard drains on my next house. And over on the other side of the house, the uphill side of my house, that's where I personally need the yard drain to keep the water out of my basement. So once I get farther along in this project, I'll show you what's going on over there. Anyway, another valuable video from Cheney Residential Carpentry and Construction. I hope my tips helped you. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye for now.